But Miles had just brought up the name George Higginbotham again. And one of the highlights of that video is that George Higginbotham had been the largest corruption case in the U.S. Department of Justice's history, where he had embezzled $70 million. $70 million. And this was all in an effort to get Miles deported back to China. But it wasn't just George Higginbotham. Elliot Brody wanted $3 billion in order to get Miles taken down. $3 billion. It's absolutely stunning, the amount of money. Steve Wynn got involved. Now, the interesting thing is with some of these guys is that some of them had cases against them for FARA, F-A-R-A, Foreign Agent Registration Act. So they went with FARA charges. So what that winds up being, if you get a FARA charge, is you are working on behalf of another country. In this case, the PRC, the People's Republic of China, essentially the CCP, because the CCP is in control of China. Maybe it certainly shouldn't be, but that's the way it is right now. So when you hear PRC, just understand that what we're talking about is the CCP. So when Elliot Brody, when George Higginbotham, when Steve Wynn, all of these guys went up against DOJ charges. And what is completely stunning to me is at the end of Trump's term, not to forget Nikki Loom Davis. She actually is probably only one still left in prison based on these charges for FARA, all working on behalf of a foreign agent or working as a foreign agent. So Steve Wynn, his case, I don't understand this, but this is apparently, justice delayed is justice denied. And in the Steve Wynn case, they ruled against the FARA charge, and they essentially let it go. Not only that, but it went to an appeals court, and a 3-judge panel at that point decided that there's no reason now for him to register as a foreign agent. Well, of course not. Number one, he was no longer in a position of power with the RNC. Number two, he wasn't being paid by the CCP because he wasn't in a position of contact. He, as a member of the RNC committee, higher ups, had the contact, had the position to be able to get in as a Trump insider and try to convince them in order to deport Miles. And so they went on in that video to talk about people that we've already spoken about. Sun Lee-jun, who was in Shanghai. He's the one that got very, very angry at Nikki Loom Davis, Pras Michelle, and Elliot Brody when they went over to Hong Kong and then Shanghai under the cover of night in order to have a meeting with Sun Lee-jun. Meng Jianzhu, the father of Zhou Lo, this piece of human garbage was very well connected with little Wang Qishan. We can't ever forget to bring up little Wang Qishan because, again, he is the genesis of all of these troubles that Miles has run into. Little Wang Qishan is still trying to make up for the troubles that his emissary in Beijing got into, and he's still wanting to take Miles down. So another name that you're going to know, Jack Ma. At one time, Jack Ma was hugely popular worldwide. He was the face of Alibaba. What happened to Jack Ma? Well, he got involved in this because he's a billionaire businessman, but he seems to have failed in his task as well because Alibaba was stripped from him. His property was stripped from him. Everything that he owned outside of communist China, outside of the CCP tentacle reach, he was forced to sell and give that money back to the CCP.